WDHA's Reconnect with Rockers is on. I am super happy to have back a Reconnect with one of my favorite guests, Gavin Rossdale. I'm so excited to talk to you. I'll tell you why. Because you're never a guest that I have to really do a whole lot of prep work for. You've always got something going on. You've created opportunity out of obstacle throughout this whole pandemic mania. The first virtual show I saw was when The Kingdom came out. We talked about the new record, and now you got a show coming out now, which I think is incredible. No cover. So first of all, welcome back, and tell us a little bit about it, because I think it's super exciting for rock fans.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting, and they contacted me a while ago, the Hit Parade guys. I guess that was a very big magazine back in the day. I remember being in it myself, and it was always really favorable. It was kind of easygoing. It wasn't sort of slap you in the face Rolling Stone style. It was just a fan favorite magazine because it just showed the people you liked. And I guess they went away for a minute and then got rebought, and now they're coming back, and in order to set it up, they've got this great show called No Cover. And Alice Cooper is doing it, Lee from Hailstorm, Tobin Abbasi, who's a experimental heavy jazz, modern metal guitar player. Those people that I know, and it seemed like a fun thing to do, you know. And so it's 10 days. We shoot for 10 days. They'll spread it out, and you know, going to get to hear a lot of bands who make their own music, which is fun. I mean, generally those talent shows don't really. They never have people to write their own material, obviously for good reason most of the time. But I think it's going to be fun to do this. I've done something similar for radio a while ago, but this is going to be I'm looking forward to hanging out with Alice Cooper for a while.
Yeah, I love the, the diversity of the judges. And the thing I think is so cool is, yeah, you need original material. It's not going to be one of those shows, because you did the UK voice, correct? So it's not going to be one of those shows where you're like, oh, your song choice wasn't really the best, because it's their song. So this is what I want to let people know, because people can get involved. I mean, those of you watching now, if you're in a band or you're an artist, you can submit your stuff, www.nocovershow.com/apply. And you can do your photos, your videos, and the producers are going to be choosing from those entries. But you're going to be doing 3 key factors: originality, presence, and song craft. So let me talk to you.
I can get presents.
Presents for you. So let me talk to you about, you're a master songwriter, and I was thinking about this early on, and I thought, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I would have thought about, Gavin as like, he's the hot rock god guy. Now I think of you like I think of you as a songwriter now with that.
It took
But that's okay.
25 million records, but yeah.
But that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's a beautiful journey.
It's a beautiful.
I'm just on my journey, and you're seeing it, looking at me in a different light. I love that. It's beautiful.
And you want to be thought of, 25 years ago as that front man guy, and then as you go on, I mean, I think that's really a privilege that you're still not trying to be like, why aren't I that guy that was there 25 years ago? Well, you look the same, so you don't have that problem.
It's amazing, because I mean, this The Kingdom is doing so good, the single, and like that could be the 22nd hit we've had on radio.
I thought that was a brilliant.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
That's a lot. I'm like, I don't think anyone knows that. I don't think I even know that. I say it and I forget, because who walks around with that kind of knowledge about themselves? So I'm literally going to forget about it now, like hypnosis. When I was reflecting on whatever I'd just forgotten, it was interesting.
Yeah. So tell me about, how do you judge songwriting? Is it a feeling? Is it technique? Like, as somebody who's going to be judging these songs, where do you kind of start with that? Because you're judging.
The funny thing is that I totally wrote with the Kingdom, and was born out of this idea of like, so sick of self-righteous, judgmental people, and here I am, literally being a judge. But I mean, it's not quite the same. I was like, I've spent so many hours in the studio trying to rail against people to judge.
Right, I know.
Because it's really annoying how everyone does it. But I think that the most important thing for me in music, and I like all types of genres, obviously, like everyone. Who likes just one thing? It's like metal or die. You know? So it's just a feeling. You know, it's funny. It's just a feeling. It's an emotion, and then everything has to be feeding into it. You know, of course, has to be a lyric that you can connect to, that resonates in some kind of way. Else, you know, it's not going to work for me personally. I like lyric. I think the way the music, the groove of the music has to be. You know, rhythm sections are literally the driving forces of band. There's no great band without a great drummer and a great bass player. They just don't exist, because if you fall down with those guys, it doesn't really matter. You're not getting anything. I don't know. It's sort of like doesn't really work for me. So for me, I'm looking at everyone pulling their weight in the band, and then the presence is just the way they look fits the sound. So that, you know, when you're writing a song or you have a band, you know, you sort of invite them into your world. You want to paint them in your colors, and that's what I'm going to be looking for, is people that just like envelop me, and it's just undeniable, you know. And you don't necessarily have to intellectualize what reason it is. Oh, it's look at this chord progression. It's never that, or that word is great. It's just the whole package, because you can't have one without the other, and that's the symbiosis of all music, the collective power of you've heard it, you know, it's when, you know, the sum of all parts is greater than any individual part. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah. The feel of rock and roll, and it's
That's
a
what we're looking for.
nice little push.
I saw my friend the other day. I'm going to tell you, my friend, I saw him the other day in the park. He's a drummer, Mike, and he plays in heavy metal bands. He's a really great guy, super dread, and loves playing tennis where I see him. And he goes to me, man, I'm so excited doing that show. Listen, what is there anything, you know, we got to get going. What can I do? You know, I was thinking that I was going to help him. I was like, be great.
Yeah.
Be great. That's the thing, be great. Like, I'm sure I could help him to come in and go get him. Someone coming in. I could go get him. I could, you know, get him tickets to something, or make sure that his record is heard, or the music he makes heard. But like, once I can open the door, but once he's in, he's just got to be great. I can't just push something through that doesn't sound that good. So that's what it is. And I could definitely, when I did The Voice UK, I was way too serious for them. Like, you talk about song choices. When I chose my team, I went into the meetings with the producers with the songs for them and the edits that I thought they should do. They were like, what is this? No one's ever done this in the history of The Voice. We've been 120 countries. What are you doing? It's like, I'm a thorough person, you know? And so I just thought that this would be really great for her. You know, Arctic Monkeys for this guy. We haven't heard this on British TV. And all these bands, I had the Pixies on there. It's just all these bands that I love. And so I'm really, even though it's fun, I know that people, this is everything for people. This is their life. This is everything they've dreamed of. So I'm going to be extremely diligent in being open to whatever I hear, and really giving everything the benefit of the doubt, and just immersing myself in it. And actually, when I'm writing a new record, it's kind of fun to go off and be inspired by people that are like coming through with a fire. So I'm just going to be looking for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I would imagine.
And also, one thing I love about it, I found from The Voice, is that when you break things down, you get it. I don't quite know how it's going to work. I suppose, do we get teams? I don't know how the format of the show. But once you get someone, are you then mentoring them? Because it's better than judging. I don't like judge, because what's judge? You know, like my 14-year-old son judges music, likes different music to me. I don't know. No one has the right to judge music, but you can help people in their endeavor and to say what worked for me and how you can connect most with people, in my single opinion that you may take or leave, you know. Yeah. And but I take it really seriously, because it's, even though it's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to getting to know Alice Cooper, it's really about honoring people's dreams, you know what I mean? And that's a sacred position to be in, where you can lift people up or you can push them down. And it was horrible when we have to get rid of people. Yeah. When I did that on The Voice. So that's a really terrible feeling, because I was nothing but rejected for the first many years of my musical career. It was an endless rejection, endless rebuttal. My voice was not good enough. My stage presence wasn't good enough. Everything. I mean, you know, because people saw me not in development, they thought that I was a finished product of whatever it was, 20. I'm like, well, guys, can we have some room for growth here? Can we have some room for potential?
But see,
No.
that's a bad part about selling a million gajillion records on the first one out too, because then sort of like people feel like you've hit the wall. There's nothing beyond that for you. So I think for that reason, you are the perfect judge for this, because I think
that was the beginning for me.
You created some new rules for yourself. You were not going to take the rules that were sort of dictated for you. And you were like, no, I'm doing a solo record. No, I'm doing, I'm going to be an established live act. No, I'm not going to be considered a grunge artist from the 90s. No, I'm not. You sort of, there was a turning point for you, I think, as an artist, where all of a sudden you were just like, nope, doing it. Don't care what anybody thinks. And it's actually really paid off for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It gave me goosebumps when you said that. I feel like sort of very, very kind thing to say. And, it's always been my journey's always been checkered, like anyone in a long career. Like Liza Minnelli said, a career is just a series of comebacks.
Yeah, right. Right.
There's that element to, you come into the light, you go out of the light. So I liken it to a merry-go-round. You're sort of always playing, always doing your thing, but there are times when you're in the dark and times when you're out of view. You can't help it. But what you can't do is in those times stop. You can't do that. And some things really connect and some things don't connect. And our world is so fragmented that even when you can go on tour and play to, 1 million people, I can still come back, go to my local coffee shop, and someone will say, "Hey man, haven't seen you in a while. What have you been up to?" I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm just killing myself on stage. What happened? Where you been? I had a #1 record for a year straight." Oh, sorry man. I thought, how's the music? You still do it? I remember I checked into a hotel, I can't remember, maybe in Washington.
That's great.
And I was checking in, this guy next to me, we're playing playing an arena there, it's a great tour, everything's really good. I think that was with Stone Temple Pilots. I'm checking in, this guy's like, "Dude, freaking love you. What's going on with you? What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm playing in 2 hours, I got some tickets." Let's see. Yeah, I have some tickets. I was like, he really liked me, he knew my history, but his own life had taken him to on a voyage of cheese sand around the world and getting married and having like 3 kids. Now he didn't know what.
That's great.
I was like, no, I've been doing it. So he came to the show and he loved it, and so now maybe he knows the kingdom now. But, he took that personal touch, took that personal bribe, $150 I gave him.
And we want everyone to know too that there's like a record contract that comes out of this, which is pretty cool for people. And hopefully we'll get back to with Sumerian Records. And hopefully when we get back to shows, you're going to get to be on like a Danny Wimmer, one of the festival shows, which so looking forward to that day.
I mean, again, it just comes down to, what it comes down to. This is an excellent opportunity for a real true band. And it's like you can, the world's your oyster by being great. Like normally you have to be great and you just find your way through. This, you can be great. And we're all waiting for that. Like that's going to make my life easy to find a great band. If I could find, the new System of a Down, a young System of a Down, we'd all be happy. Better TV show, I'll feel great. And then there's a great new band on the scene. And so it's quite, it's just calling people, it's calling people out. Like, okay, what do you have? Now you have a platform. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see that. And one thing I won't enjoy is people that don't. Anyone doing it is going to put their heart and soul in it. I just started thinking like, what would I not like if people came in there? I don't like. I just think that everyone's going to be giving it their best shot.
Absolutely.
And they're going to have to get through a whole bunch of rounds, so to speak, before they come to the pool of judges, I suppose they're called. Oh my God, I'm a judge.
Yeah.
I'm a judge, high court judge.
Like it or not, you are the judge. Like it or not, you are the judge.
I'm a very benevolent, kind, and positive judge. And I always, even on The Voice, I just couldn't take it to just crush people's dreams. So I just would like eke out something out of someone's performance, even if I couldn't stand it. I'd just take 10 seconds that I thought was really good and say, you know, that 10 seconds where you did that, I really like that. That's what would get me going. You know, if you could spread that throughout the performance, I think it would really benefit.
Yeah.
As opposed to saying, man, you were super dull for like 90%
you suck.
of that time.
And you know, you're a dad too. So you see those moments where you've got your kids like dreams sparking, and you don't want to be the dude that's like, bam, where's your spark? Well, I'm here to put it out, kid. You know, like that's not you.
Yeah. Well, then because then what that is, you then become like a cartoon character who's there on TV
exactly.
to put people down. And I had a few opportunities. There's one woman who came on, and I don't like histrionic singing. You know, that I don't like that. Well, that just drives me nuts. I mean, I like it when, you know, Dionne Warwick does it, or Whitney Houston, but it's kind of like amateur singers who just do runs on runs on runs. Are just like, you know, please don't rewrite Stevie Wonder. You can't. And this woman came on and did was it Purple Rain or something? And all I was thinking is like, why are you killing? You know, does Prince have to die twice?
Yeah, that's a big.
All I was thinking. And everyone was freaking out. The whole studio audience, everyone was freaking out. And I just suddenly, the flash, I saw her. This is her moment. She was going nowhere. She was she was going nowhere. And this is her moment. And it was a really funny line. And I thought I could really, but that would be about, they're so punching down, you know? And I just thought, you know what? She's going to have this tape. It's not going anywhere, her career. She's going to have this, when she's on The Voice, she's going to sit down for the rest of her life and be able to play it. And I don't want to be the jerk that she has to cut, you know, that gets the big laugh at her expense, even though it was a funny line. And so I'll do that, you know, socially, and I have a wicked sense of humor like that with all my friends, you know, we're merciless with each other. But in that moment, I just was like, you're not going to do that to this woman's, like, the moment where her singing voice is on major network TV. So I was like, you know, it's a little bit dramatic for me. Yeah, maybe not quite how I heard it, but so I toned it down, which of course no one wanted. Everyone laughed their heads off about everyone said, but I don't know. I feel better that I don't look at that now thinking, I do, because where's she gone now?
And you would never be able to sleep at you would see that moment would come back to you at like moments.
Yeah, it's not.
You'd be like out for a jog, and then like bam, that moment would come back to you, and you'd be like, "What did I do?"
That bit where you wake up 4 a.m, you gotta go to the bathroom, and you come back to go to sleep, and then I remember that.
You're done. You're done.
So I'll try and be kind, you know.
Oh, I don't doubt it. So every time I have you on, I love having you on because number one, you're a very popular guest. Everyone likes, oh, Gavin's going to be on with you again. But everybody always says to me, why didn't you ask him this? Why didn't you ask him that? So last week, I knew you were going to be on again. I said, listen, if you guys have anything you'd like me to ask Gavin, hit me up, email me now, give me an email address. I got like 35 email off the bat. I'm not going to ask you 35 questions. I picked 3 simple questions, 3 that I thought were pretty normal and decent from DHA listeners because I asked for them. So now I feel sort of compelled to get a few people in. So I said, all right, I'll wind things up with Gavin Rossdale with 3 listener questions. So I'm going to start with a lady out of New York City. Her name is Tina. And I liked her question because I kind of thought this at some point too. She said, there's so many Gavin fan sites on social media. Does it ever make you uncomfortable to see photos going up all the time of yourself and not know what's coming up next? I'm a very private person, so I've often thought about that. And there's a lot of Gavin Rossdale fan sites on social media. Has social media changed your life significantly over the years?
Well, I mean, first off on those ones, I mean, for anyone running a fan page of mine, that's a beautiful thing. I have to be so grateful for that and humbled by it. And without them, I wouldn't, have what I have. And so, of course, no, that is the ones where there was a whole spate of a lot of people were getting impersonated on social media, and it's happened to me. There's a girl recently who gave $18,000 to someone for a venture, and it's like I've posted many times, like, I want nothing but you to come to the shows and buy the t-shirts, and if you want to buy a record, fantastic, but I am never asking for cash. I'm never asking a side deal. I'm not slipping into your DMs and asking for anything.
Yeah.
So don't give any money. Don't give any money. People still give money. They write their hands was it you. And I had this argument with this one girl. She was like, but it can't be true, because someone had been sort of grooming her for a few months and talking to her. And really, you know, just, I didn't get a wind of exactly what was going on, but she said, you know, we've been speaking for months. Is none of it true? And I was just thinking, oh no, this poor girl. And she gave the money. She gave the money. She gave the money, and then suddenly, when it came to my attention, it was like, it was, you know, I gave you that money, and I'm going straight to TMZ and the FBI. I was like,
oh no, poor Gavin.
Yeah, now I was getting in trouble because she believed that I would be asking her for money. But I thought it was really weird that it was a reflection of modern culture that she was going to TMZ first and then the FBI.
Yeah.
Like, but sweetheart, please don't give me more money. Oh.
All right, so Gavin likes the fan sites. He's grateful for the fan sites, but please, there's only one original Gavin Rossdale. He will never ask for money. Young guy, Chris, out of Mount Olive, New Jersey. He's 23, guitar player, huge Bush fan, and a fan of your guitar player, Chris Trainer, and says, so how do you choose? Like if Chris were to leave tomorrow, say, I think he's looking for a job, but he says, how would you choose a guitar player for Bush? Is it just somebody who can play all the songs perfectly? What is important for somebody to know to maybe...
Does he know something I don't?
I don't know, but
why am I being like...
I love the fact, too, that and Chris, your guitar player is a fantastic, I mean, just a great player. But I love the fact that he mentioned Chris. So I said, let me get this question in there. But, you know,
Chris is fantastic.
A member.
I mean, I'm very lucky. Chris is fantastic. Corey is a fantastic bass player and a fantastic musician. And Nick, the drummer, is a fantastic musician. Nick and Corey went to music college together. So, you know, one of my biggest open secrets is just always surround yourself with the best people you can, and then they move everything along. I mean, Chris is a phenomenal guitar player.
Yeah,
and so that's what I do. I mean, in terms of looking for someone, I can't imagine, you know, me and Chris like brothers, so there's no
chemistry, baby, chemistry.
Well, there's so much chemistry and so much love and so much history and so much family, and I mean, I've seen him over the years more than I've seen my own family, you know. Yeah. We travel so much together. So there is, I don't think that there's any vacancy in that regard. But if I were hypothetically, or maybe get a guitar player, another guitar player, so I don't have to play any guitar. I could just sing, but I like playing guitar. It would be someone that always works a combination. Like we had Nick as a newer drummer from a year ago, and it has to be. So he's a better example. And that did happen, and that has to be someone who of course is first off musically exciting and amazing, but as important, you have to live with these people in very, very close quarters, see them every day. You know, there's such an extreme tolerance in being in a band. You know what I mean? Like in regular life, people would get much more put off by other people seeing them every day. Oh Jesus, you know. But we just find a way, and it's knowing that energy. And what we got with Nick was a monster on stage, and then a smart, kind, sweet gentleman off stage. You know, really gracious person. Everyone in the band is sort of married with kids. We're not having big backstage things like that. And we never really were a band like that. So it's just it's a healthy atmosphere, and just everyone supports each other. And that's what it is, this ability to get along. So we tried a couple of people, but then we found them quite difficult, or harder as people, more challenging as people, you know. Before we were just looking at some other people, different keyboard player to work with. And some people just rub it the wrong way, like, I'm good, nothing's worth it. It's always, there's someone, you know, being cool is a big part of it.
Yeah. It's like any other relationship, you know, girlfriend, an employee. All right, and I'll hit you with one more, and I want to get Diane's question. She's been to 35 Bush shows. 35. It's pretty impressive. And she says she's never seen you with an off night with your vocals. She said never seen an off night for Gavin. What does he do to keep his vocals so on point? And personally, what song does he love playing live so much that he could never imagine getting it out of a set?
Well, first off, that's a beautifully put question, because I really pride myself on giving everything that we can. Every night you can't be as good as every night, you know, but the idea is you're always the best version of yourself. And with as far as my voice, I'm really diligent. I always warm up. I'm really mindful I don't go out. Like, the worst thing for singers is to go to, like, you know, loud. We don't go to restaurants now, but back when we used to in our old world, you know, restaurants, we have to raise your voice above the regular volume to be heard is as bad as shouting for your voice. So it's annoying, because whenever I'm in that mode, I've always got to be mindful of my voice. I spend a lot of time being quiet in the daytime, because it's literally a muscle. So you have sort of this much of it. So if you're talking all day long, like I did a show, this Bowie show that I'm doing again actually in January, and I had a lot of time, spent a lot of time with Joe Elliott from Def Leppard.
Yeah.
And I've never spent time with him. And he is a lot of fun. Like, he is so much fun and such a laugh, but really, like, chatty and talking, and his voice didn't even sound that healthy when we were beginning. And we were sharing a dressing room because there was a lot of artists. So I was in a dressing room with him, and I think a couple of other people, whatever, Corey Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, the way that he was, I just was like, Joe was just really talking a lot. He's going, oh, my voice, and he couldn't stop talking. So anyway, it's funny, but I was in awe. I was like, oh my God, I just, when I'm in that mode, just go, and then it's just quiet, you know. It's just the best thing for your voice is to rest it and to not use it.
Yeah. And what song do you love and you couldn't imagine ever getting out of the set list? She's got her favorite Push song.
Well, there's something about I mean, be hard to do a show without glycerin. I've done a couple of festivals without glycerin when it's like a heavy metal festival. But then, funny enough, you go, well, man, after all that barking, they need a tune. They need a tune. Everyone needs a tune at some point, even like you know. But I think "Come Down,"
yeah,
because it just closes the show, and it just feels so euphoric, and people just lose their minds to it. And whenever we've tried to put it somewhere else or finish another song, somehow it just seems the signature move that no matter what we do, we finish with "Come Down," because it just sums up the night, it sums up the audience, it sums up the career, the history we have with people. It just sums everything up. It's like the biggest hug goodbye. It's our favorite way to say goodbye for that night. So "Come Down."
Yeah, I love that. Gavin, I always love having you on. It's such an easy gig for me. There's not a whole lot of prep. I know what we're going to talk about. You're always such a great guest. And I'm super psyched for No Cover. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm going to be super energized to see talent coming out, people with original material. And you know what? The next generation of rockers. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and I think, and I'm hoping as well, it's sort of, it's multi-generational. It doesn't have to be just, 17-year-old kids. I mean, I'm hoping that anyone who's never felt a chance to be heard gets that chance. I mean, you know what? I'm not judging off of the chronology of when they were born. I'm judging off of how much they move me emotionally. That's the only thing I care about.
Oh, by the way, I want to give it one more time. No Cover show / live for anybody who wants to get their band sort of judged, to get judged by the judges. And Gavin Rossdale, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. I love hanging out with you. Love chatting with you. And can't wait to see Bush live again. Oh, I'm looking forward to that day, man, where we all get that big hug at the end of Come Down.
Great. I'll be there.
Stay safe, my friend.
All right. Thank you so much.
DHA's Reconnect with Rockers is powered by Advantage Contracting and by Karis Lock Company.